Connie in Fenwick in it's 4th gen. Hello. Yeah. Going to go to the 2nd floor and then back to 1.
Up call accepted.
Interesting. Oh, this one's going down. Excuse me. Sorry for that. Interestingly, the floor numbering's different.
Doors closing.
Doors closing, doors closing, doors closing. Here we go. This is a hydraulic.
First floor. Doors opening. Lift going down.
Lift going down.
Doors closing.
Doors closing. The floor numbering is different. How weird. Here.
Upper ground.
Floor. No, it didn't say floor.
Doors opening. Lift going down.
Ugly generic. Going up. Doors are closing. 5 years ago? But this looks like it was made... What? It's an MRL.
Shop and toilet.
Oh, nice messages.
Doors open.
Doors off. Mind the doors. Doors. I think this is blind VF.
Going up.
Yep. It sounds like an AC motor.
Level 2. Management suite. Doors open. Please mind
The doors. Doors closed. It's a shame that this has got a blind VF. Maybe it'll be modernised with Magnatech. It's a very shiny lift. I actually do not know if this is a modernisation. Probably is. Maybe it's modernised by... I actually do not know.
Level 0. Shops, buses and taxis. Doors open.
Nice custom messages. This one. Going down. The doors. Doors closing. Already pressed the button. Going down.
Going down.
Incorrect colour.
Floor down. Doors opening. Please mind the door.
Doors closing.
Going up.
The lift is definitely a modernisation. A little bit cheap.
Floor 3. Doors
Connie. Oh, yuck.
This lift is going up.
This
Doors closing.
doors closing.
Floor 1.
Floor 1. Weird.
Doors opening.
Sad it's got its date correct.
Doors closing.
At least it says doors closing as soon as I press the button. Social distancing line.
Floor 0.
This lift is in a very bad condition. Oh.
Doors opening.
Here is the Oakland in shop. I forgot which shop. Ah, I remember now. It's just Oaklands are normally in next. You usually get standards in this kind of shop. First floor.
Mind
the doors, please. Da 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 da. Yep, you definitely know this lift is old when it jolts. Also, you can see I have the flash on because this lift is quite dark. Security camera up there. Oakland elevators are crap. Upper ground floor. Upper ground floor?
Upper ground floor.
Upper ground floor. This honestly looks like a staff only area, but it isn't. It's just a public lift. Here we go. This one. Apparently I can go into this one. Doors opening. Going up. This one was modernised in 2008. Look at the lighting. That posh. Security camera up there.
Level 3.
Level 3.
Doors open.
Oh, that's a nice collection of mirrors. Back down to 2. That is not regular Dewhurst.
Level 2.
That ticky tape is too noisy.
First to the main lifts, which have some rare Stentergate messages.
Doors about to close.
Right, I've never heard that announcement before.
Lift going up.
It's a rare Stentergate message.
Second floor.
This is a voice I've never heard before. Doors about to close.
Lift going up.
Lift going up.
Third floor.
Third floor. Gonna go back to G.
Preparing to depart. Doors about to close.
Prepare to depart. Okay, so
Lift going down.
oh, you can see up there in the shaft.
Ground floor.
Now to TK Maxx, which has a generic with interesting motor sound.
Mind the doors. Doors closing. Going up.
It's an MRL.
Floor 1. Doors opening.
Probably blind VF.
Going down. Please mind the doors. Doors closing. Going down. Ground floor. Doors opening.
Now to a Conner monospace.
First floor. Doors opening. Doors closing. Floor 0. Doors opening.
You go out and phone me.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, now to the first floor.
Doors closing.
What the? Okay. Well, that's... You don't normally put product records there.
First floor. Doors open.
Okay.
Doors closing.
I'll go.
Ground floor. Doors opening.
Now to a very old lift. This lift has interesting floor numbering. I'm going to go up to 3, or 2 and 3. This lift is rather small. Security camera up there. Very small. Single door. 1, 2. Oh, there we go.
Second floor.
Oh, it's got a custom voice. Oh no, that's just Thames Valley. Okay, go back down to G. Now to a first generation flat pack lift. Also, this lift gets the floor numbering wrong. So I'm at first floor, gonna go to ground floor. Please, this is slow. Logi. Oh my! It's in a foreign language. Look. It's in a foreign language. That's interesting. To a first generation Schindler Myconic lift. This lift has M-series buttons, but other than that it feels a lot like a 70s Schindler. Very 80s looking. This lift was making. Yeah, it's got a carpet wall. That's a display, but it doesn't work anymore. It's definitely a Schindler. Oh, actually that button panel probably was an older lift modernised by Schindler in the 1980s because... Oh, it's got 3 doors. It's got classic levelling. Let's look at the ground floor. Watch it level. I cannot believe it. I wasn't expecting to see another one of these. Okay, now look at the ground floor. Look, see? Classic Cleverling. Same, it's got like first generation iconic, but hey, at least it's got some. We got 6. This lift looks really nice. It's safe to say it's an old lift. Car park level 6. So these are some Otises. Go to the lower ground. To lower ground. This looks nice. Okay. Just gonna film these lifts. These look rather nice. I think that design. These lifts seem rather old. I think they're a modernisation. These are some Otises, I can tell. I believe these look like Otis 2000s. Do right up and right down. Okay. So, whoa! There was a feel, like just instantly stopped and...
Floor 1. Doors opening.
Okay, let's get the voice units.
Doors closing.
I heard another chime. Sounded a lot like those really cheap generics in House of Fraser, Westfields.
Floor 0.
Okay, now the camera's just being weird. So if the footage looks terrible, but my camera's acting up today.
Doors opening.
Bodged 2000 things. Somebody lifted a McDonald's thing. It's not very kind. Oh, that one's interesting. It's got American chime. So I assume this one might... Actually, I think these might be like 1980s Otises. What's going on? Why is the door not closed? That was strange. Wee. Into a little bit strange when it comes to lifts. Like, they seem to think that lifts are prestigious. Shame that Into's gone. They were fun. Got to 1. Oh dear, this lift looks old. This lift is old. Oh no. So back to ground, go back to G. It's a very old UK lift. A bit creepy. Oh yeah. Oakland elevators are okay. I mean, they're kind of reliable for hydraulics. I mean, they last a very long time. They last a long time for hydraulic lifts. Like, I've seen a 30-year-old Oakland before. first to one of the lifts in the shopping centre, which is a really nice automatic lift. This lift does not have any buttons on the inside apart from door open, close and the alarm.
Please stand clear. The doors are closing. Arriving at upper now. Please stand clear. The doors are open. Please enter.
Now to the lift in Marks and Spencer's, which is...
Clothing.
The original recording was unusable, so I'll re-record these lifts. Yeah, these are some Otis going up lifts. It's got the going up voice. Beep beep, beep boing bop. That's what it sounds like.
Floor 1.
Floor 1. Now to one of the car park lifts. This lift was so dark I had to enable the flash. We have a swan level, a frog level, and a fish level. Oh, Jesus Christ, this lift is dark as... it's too dark. Now my video cannot actually record a thing. That's just great. There we go, I have the flash on. Okay, now you should be able to see some of the lift. Considering it's like, literally like, there's no lights in this lift.
Arriving at the ground floor. Please stand clear. The doors are open.
Now to Boots, which has the worst ever lift I ever went in. Full stop. Oh, they faked the Otis 2000 curve. How could they? Oh, once again somebody has listed the McDonald's thing. Oh dear, it's a hydraulic. This is not a very healthy hydraulic. It's like jolting up and down. No, it's not 2012. What the hell? It's not 2012. This is 20... Right now it's 2021. You're 9 years behind this. Yeah, I have to speak to Boots staff about this lift. It's really not healthy. It's not in a healthy condition.
This is a phone navigation. Next stop, Arndale. Please stand clear. The doors are closing. Arriving at upper now. This is a phone navigation. Next stop, lower now. Please stand clear. The doors are closing. Arriving at the lower now.
Do, we are Oakland do. Today we are making lifts which are unreliable. Oh yeah. This one seems okay.
Mind the doors, please.
Yeah, I guess it's quite a big lift. Sorry. Okay. go. These doors. Gonna go back to G.
Mind the doors, please.
Please mind the doors. Doors closing. Doo-doo.
Ground floor.
No doo-doo. Now to House of Fraser, which has some Otis 2000 VFs. Here it is. An Otis 2000 VF. Let's go to the upper mall. Oh yeah, it's a finally attraction lift. Arriving at upper mall. Please stand clear. The doors are opening. Go upper mall. Gonna go back to lower mall. Now to Arcit. What a strange name for a shop.
Going up.
There we go. The
Doors
new.
closing.
What? That they must be using lossless audio for the voice, because listen. The voice is high quality. It's really high quality.
First floor.
Just it doesn't
Doors
sound.
opening.
It just doesn't sound like a standard lift voice.
Going down. Doors closing.
You know, standard lift voices are all like just like crushed and just like compressed and such. But no, this is not compressed at all. And the nice motor sounds.
Ground floor.
Shame that this is a fourth
Doors
gen because
opening.
yeah, there's no clunk.
Doors closing.
That's not the Arona voice.
Lift going up.
That sounds like a generic voice. Where's the Arona voice?
First floor.
Oh no, no.
Doors closing.
Installed
Lift going down.
2020, I believe. It's got the clock correct, I guess.
Main floor.
Now to John Lewis, which has a really nice Connect Office series. I forgot to film the Eco discs there.
Second floor.
I'm gonna go back to ground.
Ground floor.
First to the lift in Welco, which is broken. So now we move on to some of the main lists, which have some very clear Juicegrow voices. Indicator's actually correct. That's the 4.
Doors closing.
Got the... This is the clearest sample I've heard of the original Stantigate voice.
Going down.
That's really clear.
Fourth floor.
4th floor. Audio sounds
Doors
slightly...
opening.
The audio sounds slightly compressed. And for the better angle, aka the thumbnail angle,
Doors closing.
That was a bit scary. Sorry about that.
Going up.
Going up.
Shopping level.
Shopping. There's custom messages.
Doors opening.
Now we go to Sports Direct, which has a stupid platform lift. Now to Next, which has a techno lift. Now we have a brand that I've never seen before. Techno. Oh wait, actually I have. The viewing angles on this LCD are just amazing. Oh wait, no, it's actually blue. Very modern lift. Oh. Why is it monochrome? This screen's not... Mind the doors. The sounds... Oh, it's an MRL. Why is the screen in blue and white? Oh... Do they know what anti-aliasing is? Anti-aliasing? I don't care. Why is it just pixelated? Mind the doors. So that's like a Windows 95 program. Now you can see the Techno logo. Now we go to a modernised Otis 2000 hydraulic which goes to the centre management. Who on earth would want to modernise an Otis 2000 hydraulic? It's already bad in the first place. Which doesn't even work, I don't think. Here we are inside the lift.
Doors closing.
And the lights. Oh god, the lights.
Lift going up.
Hydraulic. Oh, what the hell is a modernisation? Oh, that's interesting. It must be an Otis 2000H.
Second floor.
Second
Doors
floor.
opening.
Hello, Piccadilly line.
Ding.
Who would want to modernise an already crappy lift?
Lift going down.
We need to get this lighting fixed. I know that phone cameras are normally very flickery, but this time it's actually flickering in real life. And now my camera's focus is literally dying.
Ground floor.
Ground floor.
Doors opening.
Now to a modernised. This lift looks different every time you go there. Okay, old Otises.
Lift going up.
This one. This one.
Okay.
Doors closing. First floor.
Here you go.
Doors opening.
His voice is very loud.
Lift going up.
Lift going up.
Doors closing.
The voice is extremely loud. I used to be scared of these lifts because of that stupid voice. Now I'm not.
Fourth floor.
Oh
Doors opening.
my god, did you hear that? There was some static coming from the speaker.
Lift going down.
Hey, we get it. You're going down.
Ground floor.
The mirror there.
Doors opening.
The lift in Marks and Spencer's used to serve the car park floors, but it doesn't anymore. For some reason, my camera decided to record in black and white. Oh, what's wrong with my camera? It's in black and white. Why is it in black and white? Anyway, here's the next lift. Okay, the lifts are now at ground. Here's the lift.
Going up.
Here's the lights.
Please mind the door.
Really?
Doors closing.
Where's the Jordan thing still there?
Going up.
Jordan's no longer there.
Floor 1.
Floor 1. It's got the early voice.
Doors opening.
It takes you to the upper. I bet these lifts used to. Yes, you can see there.
Mind the doors. Doors closing.
You really cannot see colour. Like,
Down.
I think something's happened with my camera. I don't know what's going on. Like, oh, you literally cannot see anything, and it's... I'll try and get this
Doors
fixed.
opening.
This lift will serve as my random moment. There we go. First floor. That sounds like that McDonald's sound. Temple lift is going up. Oh yeah.
Doors closing.
But this is actually like one of the smallest lifts that are. Yeah. I can touch the ceiling. Is the lift farting?
Floor 1.
Floor 1.
Doors opening.
Again, it's got the date correct.
Doors
This is
closing.
literally one of the smallest lifts I've ever went in. This is really funny, like, it's like really small. The camera doesn't begin to show how small it is.
Ground floor.
There's the strange McDonald's sound again.
Doors opening.
This lift is just like the definition of random. Now to the town centre lift. This lift has newer Connor buttons but has the Juice Grove voice. Here's a Connor lift. Ooh, it's a strange lift. It's a modern looking Connor.
Doors closing.
But it's got the really old... It's got the Connor Otis voice. I mean the Stentigate voice.
Ground floor.
Ground floor. I prefer it over the Connor voice.
Doors opening.
Back up to 3.
Doors closing.
Close the door. Okay, I guess. Here it is.
Third floor.
Third floor. Lift in very bad condition. What the hell?
Doors opening.
Going up.
Doors closing.
Oh, 2014 Gen 2. 2014 Gen 2. There's a reason why I took my...
Mezzanine.
Oh good, it didn't safety brake on me.
Doors opening.
Is that aeroplane doors?
Going down. Doors closing.
Doors closing.
Ground floor.
It's the voice unit.
Doors opening.
Doors opening.
Going up. Doors closing.
These lifts are 1 year newer than the others.
First floor.
Very clear voice unit.
Doors opening.
This lift is very bright.
Going down.
Going down.
Doors closing.
I guess I can take it from a picture. Be aware, thieves operate in this area. We'll fire them.
Lower ground.
Lower ground.
Doors opening.
Here is the tour of the lifts at the Science Museum. First to the hydraulic lifts, which are a lot higher than normal hydraulics.
Floor 3. Doors open. Please mind the doors.
So, these are the whirlpool's hydraulics when they were first built. As you can tell, these were modernized, but they're still very high for, like, literally these are hydraulic lifts. Which goes all the way from, like, basement to the 3rd floor, which 5 floors is a bit much for hydraulic lifts. Keep clear, no high fives. Sure, Ralph, I'm sure. There's another one of the lifts. It's going up. Those lifts are weird. There's a few other lifts.
Floor 0.
I will be remembering to film those.
Doors open.
Now to the next lift. This is a big lift. Another lift specialist limited. Oh yeah, three. This is a really big lift. I haven't been in this is... Yeah, it's definitely traction lift. This is like really big lift. Like a really huge lift. It's the 3rd floor. Yes. Gonna go back to G. Nice motor sounds, must admit. Yeah, there's 2 sets of doors. Yeah. 3 button panels, but oddly no 4th one. Lift C. Lift C is just, as you can see, it's just a Schindler 5500. Why don't I put my finger over the microphone? I don't know. It's a Schindler 5500, alright. 2 button panels this time. Oh good, it's got the Eurolift voice. Door opening. Gonna go back to G. This is a lot faster than all the other lifts. A shave bar? I couldn't help it. Floor 0. Now to the main lifts, which are some Conner TMS base lifts modded with LCE in 2013. These lifts have their motor room visible to the public as it's the Science Museum. Here is the lift. I'm going to go up to 3. Doors closing. It's a Conner lift. Hi, it's got outside. First floor. Okay. I'm gonna go to basement. Because that's where the motor room is. I'm gonna go up first, yeah. Modernized in 2013.
3rd floor.
Okay.
Doors open.
Got 3 doors.
Going down. Doors closed.
Just got 3 doors, which is good. These used to be some like older Conners, but yeah, modernization.
2nd
3 doors.
doors open.
Hopefully you were able to notice that.
Doors closed.
camera doesn't have much battery left, so better be quick. Okay, looks good. Now we're going to go to the basement where the motor. We've got the old corner though. Finally, get the lift to myself. Oh dear, it's not very high quality. Door closing. I'm clumsy with my jaws buttons. Oh, it's an MRL, I think. Could be a modernisation of an old lift, but I don't know and I don't care. Not very. It's a weirdly shaped lift. Look, floor. Oh, is that what I think it is?
Level 3.
They don't know what anti-aliasing is.
Doors closing.
This is supposed to be a modern lift. This is actually ugly. So you can try to put shadows, but it's like not anti-alias, so it looks ugly. Really ugly. Stupid lift. A small lift. No social distancing like, but whatever the hell this Newton.
Doors closing.
The door is going down.
The lift is going down.
You
Yeah,
mean
the
the
lift's
door down?
Well, the door's part of the lift.
Yeah.
So the lift's going down, isn't it?
To ground floor.
To ground floor. That's where we want to go.
Ground floor.
Now to the final lifts, which have some similarities with the lift in Uxbridge. We're gonna go up to the third floor. This lift doesn't have a ground.
Clear of the doors. Doors closing.
But just like the lift,
Going up.
just like the lifts in Uxbridge, these lifts have rare
Stand
announcements.
clear of the doors. Doors closing. Lift approaching level 3. Lift going down.
So these,
Stand clear of the doors. Doors closing.
this one doesn't have doors about to close, but which is like these. This lift is also well known for having like the rare Stentigate messages. So this lift shares something in common with the Uxbridge lift.
Lift approaching the ground floor.
Lift approaching the ground floor.
Lift going down.
I'll try and get a better recording of the announcement because it's just very busy.
Stand clear of the doors. Doors closing.
So it has stand clear of the doors. That's one of the announcements. Going to go to the basement. And let's hear the other one.
Lift approaching the basement.
Interesting messages.
Lift going up.
So we go back to G. Okay. Lots of people are entering the lift.
No, no, we're just gonna fly. Oh, it's like £60 per leg. But no, it's funny, it's funny.
That's a lot of people.
Stand clear of the doors. Doors closing.
I don't think that's someone behind.
No, there should be 10 of us. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
Lift approaching the ground floor.
Right, now I can come in.
Lift going up.
Here I am at Eastbourne. which has a lot of seagulls.
Quack. Quack.
And here is a tour of the lifts at the Beacon Shopping Centre. First to the lift in Marks and Spencer's, which was installed just 2 years ago.
Installed 2019.
Doors closing.
It's got, probably has Thames Valley too. It's hydraulic. Mirror. Bit of a rattly lift.
First floor.
The fact that this was installed like 2
Doors
years ago.
opening.
It's an okay lift. Oh dear.
Doors closing.
The voice unit. The static. You can see some PCB.
Ground floor.
Yes, it is the ground floor.
Doors open.
Now to Primark, which has a futuristic ThyssenKrupp. Oh crap, this lift is closed. Now to some of the main lifts, which are some modernised Schindlers. Some kid went up to me and started making fun of me. I have no idea why they did that.
It's a lift.
As City Planner once said, that kid is going to be a racist when she grows up.
I'm sorry everyone, I couldn't help that. Poor kids are having their brains Americanized. There we go, that's the ground.
Here we go. Gonna go to the 6th floor. Or 5, 6. Wait a minute. This is a Schindler lift. So just refurbished. 1, 2. Lifts are very busy. Okay, can you go to ground floor?
Levels 5 and 6.
Yep, people went in. I like that Schindler beat. It is unknown whether Topshop had a lift or not, but I'm still taking a life anyway. Now to some more lifts. These lifts have very weird fixtures.
What a weird button. And also, what a weird shape.
Okay, it's a lift. I bet 7 and 8 are staff only. 2010. These appear to be modernisations, but I'm not sure what they're of. Considering the other lifts, I assume they're probably Schindlers. Levels 1 and 2. Okay. Nobody went in the lift. It's a blue floor. So, yeah. It's an okay lift. Levels 5 and 6.
Level 5 and 6.
I like these custom messages. Gonna go back to G. Please. There we go. Normally if you like spam the button it will close. Yeah, it's an okay. Oh. Doesn't work. Therefore ground floor. Or is it gonna be shopping mall? Let's see.
Ground floor.
Aww. Star, no. Ooh. It's a bit, yeah, it's okay speed for a hydraulic. You're going compared to some, yeah, it's okay speed. You know, I've came across some very slow hydraulics in the past. Now to a really nice Otis Gen 2. This lift plays music and has an HD display. Here is an Otis Gen 2. It's your typical Gen 2. Because it's your typical Gen 2, I bet it's going to be. Has an eccentric leveling. Oh, wow, that's very new Gen 2. That is a very new Gen 2. Oh. It's got lift music. It's got lift music. Listen. That's nice. Former social distancing pads. This is a really nice lift. And like, it's got like this really nice LCD. It's actually HD. I just really like this lift. Let's do a second ride up. Listen. Oh, it's got lanterns. It's got intelligent leveling. Wait, let's just... Monospace. I don't think I've ever been in a H&M that does not have a Conner monospace. Okay, there's nobody in the lift. It's going up. Oh. Sounds slightly lower pitch than normal. It's only build date. Don't know if you can see, but that says 2018. So this must be a new extension. It's a mirror. See the, oh wow! My camera does not like light for some reason. Let's go back to ground. Oh, wait, did you hear that? Well, when it didn't sound proper. Here is a tour of the lifts at the Midsummer Place in Milton Keynes. Here is the first lift. Crown Lifts Limited. Installed in 2000. Sorry, why is the lift moving? And now it is moving. So,
First floor.
This is 1,000. It's very boring there.
Doors opening.
I've got the
Mind the doors. Doors closing.
I've got a red. It's not a good message.
Mind the doors. Doors closing.
I already pressed ground. Just going down.
Ground floor. Doors opening.
Watching on my phone. The next lift is a really old looking generic in Waterstones. Go. Now to the first floor. This lift. The indicator turns off when it's going to the first floor. Interesting. It's made out of wood. This sort of weird wooden design. Oh, that did not sound healthy. This lift is in bad condition. It doesn't even have its handlebars. Wow. This is severely bad. Show ground, please. Please. There. This is the ground floor. Generic lift. In pretty rough condition, just like the last one. Doors. Closed. It's Eiley Circoms. And over there used to be an indicator. It's gone now. Probably Benno vandalized. Benno probably vandalized the indicator. I'm just going down. They didn't scream at me for having a camera. That's good. This shopping centre is quite busy. So yeah, safe to say they're not the best with cameras. Oh, it's Apex. Apex. Now to a really old Stanner lift. This lift has a physical bell. Okay, has pre-doors. It's a Stanner with pre-doors. It's an okay lift. Two odd looking lights. It's an LED screen. Hello. Normally they use dot matrix, but I assume this one's probably an older Stanner. Is this Dewhurst 89? Wait, what the hell? Yeah, the lights are also, like, this lift doesn't have enough power. And it's nice looking. Look in the mirror, what do you see? Hey now. I like the bell. And there's pre-door. Now to the main lifts. These are some horribly modernised Otis 2000s. Yep. These are some modernised, oh no. Let's tape over the Otis button. Come on. Interestingly, they used Dewhurst 100 instead of, you know, the Dewhurst 91 that we all know and love. Well, Benno hates Dewhurst 91. Dewhurst 100 isn't that bad. In fact, it's higher quality than Dewhurst 91. Here's the lift. Like I said, 2021, and it's made by Boris Vermincourt. I know it's God Clubbing. Why is it compressed? Listen. Okay, normally they say lift going up when the lift is going up. Not this one.
First floor. Doors opening.
Sure. Can you uncompress the voice, please? What's wrong with lossless audio? It's 2021. Oh no. People are entering the lift. Boris Vermincourt.
Doors closing.
entirely compressed in 2021. Wow. Unless the voice is being controlled by the web, there's no excuse for compression. This is 2021. This isn't 20. This is like, I'm filming the lifts.
Lift going down, doors closing.
How do they not know what I'm doing? Isn't this clearly a camera? Yes, it is. I guess they found that filming lifts was weird. And it's a Forest Vermin port. Installed 2020. The motor is nice, but it's probably just an Otis 2000 motor. Shiny floor, but this lift is brand new. Next also has Otis 2000s, but unlike the main lifts, these are still original. I am not joking. This next has an Otis 2000. Here we go. And what makes this lift even better? It's got the nice variant of the True Scroll voice. Otis 2000 installed in 2000. One person or household at a time. Of course it's got the Otis. Top effect number 2. Oh, it's pre-doors. No ground. Doors closing. It's an okay lift. Unlike Otis 2000s. If you read my website, which is NCHLT.UK, you would know how good an Otis Gen 2 is. I gave it a 7 out of 10, I think. No ground floor. It's got custom messages. I like that. Except the custom messages are inaccurate because all of that is on ground floor. Yeah, it's safe to say that they're inaccurate. Otis. Sadly, this shopping centre is very small. I wasn't able to film the other shopping centre as that was too busy and way too big. However, I managed to film 3 lifts there. Here are the ones I managed to film. So lift here. There's the chime. Here's the spanner. Oh, it's got that nice sort of pattern thing. Oh, stupid cheap camera. Oh, now you can see it. Second floor. Oh, it's a very blank looking lift. This lift looks fairly new. It's hydraulic. I'm glad generics haven't changed much. This is one of the better generics.
Second floor.
Second floor. Oh, it's got Thames Valley. Shaking. Why is it shaking? This is really shaky for a new lift. Maybe it's a modernization. A lift from oh dear, this will be hard to film. Okay, you can.
Level 1. We're going to go to 1 as well.
Okay, that's good. Good. You can view the indicator.
First floor.
High quality audio, unlike the other generics.
Thank you.
Oh, no. Oh, you're going down. I already pressed the button for ground. Why isn't what? There we go.
Ground floor.
Ground floor, man.
Ground floor. Speaker. Emergency telephone.
There you go.
Sorry, thanks to that Cleveland song I made a few years back. I just was really obsessed with just doors opening, Cleveland.
Cleeman. See, that's where the Cleeman song comes from. Do-do, do-do, we are Oakland do-do. Today we are Brendan Clee's Express Little Alliance. Oh yeah, Clee.
First floor.
First floor. Sorry, I'm just really obsessed with that song for some reason. Whenever I see a Cleeman, I always have the urge to sing this weird song. Hey, man. I call it the Cleeman song. It's an MRL and it was installed in 2015. What a weird. I like that chime, but the voice is very depressed.
Doors.
Now it's at ground, and the doors will open. I think they will open. Yes, they do. Lift, and then I enter the lift all the way up to 4. Okay. $2018. Weird. A mirror. There's light. More lights. Yes. Corner mono spaces. They're absolutely everywhere.
Going down.
Going down. Speaker. It's Connor. 17 persons, 1275 kilos. It's an okay lift. The euros installed, 2018. Okay. Here is a tour of the lifts at the Whitgift and Centrale shopping centres. Now to the first lift, which is a Schindler hydraulic. It's retake time. Here's the other button. That's a bit unusual. Oh wait, lift going up. This wasn't there in my 2019 visit because COVID-19 didn't exist back then. There's the doors. Oh, 3 doors. Go to. The floor numbering is so confusing in these lifts. There's an exposed light as well as a speaker that does nothing. It's a hydraulic. Lift going down. There's a weird circle there for some reason. Entertainment toy shop. Okay, and pre-doors. There's pre-doors. Very early. It's a bit of a shaky lift because this series of fixtures came out in like 1989. I think this is a very old, so I'd assume it was modernized sometime in the 90s. It's a modern Schindler logo. So Schindler helpline thingy. Okay, here we go. What an old and strange lift. Now to the main lifts. These are some epic Schindler Myconic V's. Here are the iconics. Ow, iconic, myconic. There's the other lift. These lifts aren't set for some reason. And this indicator's broken. This shopping centre's in a pretty bad state. Look at all these closed shops. Of course, Topshop's going to be closed. Don't worry, Topshop never had a lift. I went there in my 2019 visit. 2019 visit. Don't watch that video, please. Oh, there's people in the lift. Go. We're going to go to the 3rd floor. Doors closing. It's got the happy voice, but it's definitely an iconic lift. Yep, there's the care sign.
Level 3.
Level 3.
Doors opening.
Oh yeah. We're going to go inside the lift. Doors
closing.
There's an overloaded button, but it's not actually a button. So you can put somewhere up there.
Level 1.
That thing doesn't
Doors
work.
opening.
Do.
Mind
The doors, please. Do. Jesus Christ, that's not healthy at all. It's hydraulic. It's not a very healthy lift. In my 2019 visit, the ground bottom was flashing.
First floor.
No doo-doo. Gonna go back to G.
Mind the doors, please.
Maintained by the company that, yeah, these doors really do need fixing. Maximum load, 1,000 kilos, 13 persons. Oakland, doo-doo, we are Oakland, doo-doo. This was flashing on my 2019
Ground
visit.
floor.
That's not a... Here's the third of the modernised chandeliers. Well, that's not very nice. They sent... Who thought it was funny to censor the safety information? I believe it's 630 kilos, 8 persons. I'll bring up an image from 2019.
Level 1.
Okay, that's... Oh wow, so much
Doors
different
opening.
2019 visits. Hello, Bob. What did Mattel do to you? Yep, going up. Costa.
Level 2.
Level 2.
Doors opening.
Another overloaded button. Now to Clark's, which has a Stanner. Ah well. Stanner.
Doors closing.
Stanner.
Going up.
Going up. It's a Stanner.
First floor.
Vintage Stanner.
Doors opening.
Doors opening. I'm gonna go to the
Doors closing.
basement closed. Basement is closed. Going down.
Down.
I remember my 2019 visit here. I used to go, old Stanner, very old Stanner.
Doors opening.
Somebody called it. And now we move on to W.H. Smith. This lift has a Schindler hydraulic that was modernised by PDRS. This lift uses Leicester Control's own fixtures. It's a customer lift. Very old looking lift. Look at that weird button. I don't think it's Dewhurst. Customer lift. Apparently this was a Schindler. Yeah, it is a Schindler. This Schindler was modernised.
Doors closing.
That's not a healthy lift. Okay, slider was going to drop. Just put an electricity sound up. Horn and Dunwoody.
Floor 1.
Horn and Dunwoody key lift. Why is this shopping centre obsessed with Horn and Dunwoody?
Doors opening. Going down.
Going down.
Doors
Very
closing.
strange fixtures. They're not Dewhurst. I think they are Leicester's own. Yeah, it's a very strange name.
Ground floor.
But it's a Schindler.
Doors opening.
Modernised with
Going
Leicester
down.
controls. Here we go. Sunday the 12th of September. That is indeed true. I'm filming on a Sunday. Oh boy. No wonder. There's barely anyone here. Oh, this is not a good condition lift.
Please
Mind the doors.
going down. Doors
Oh,
closing.
the display is so cheap looking.
Going
And one. That was my face.
lower ground.
Lower ground. It's not a floor, it's just lower ground.
Doors opening.
It's a very nasty feeling lift. Benno, it's called a monospace, not an eco-disc. This lift I call quiet voice because it has a really quiet voice. Going down. You could barely hear that. Also, this is a bit confusing. 2011. Camera. Wonderful. I don't even know if you heard that.
The lifts in Marks and Spencer's have caught the coronavirus. One of the lifts is out of service. Now the door's opening. Okay, there's somebody in the lift. And now I'm able to film the lift. So let's go up to 2.
Doors closing.
There's the massive speaker. That's a massive speaker over there. Oh, yeah, this is... I went here in 2019. This sounds like I like to say that this lift has the coronavirus. I call it the coronavirus.
Second floor. Doors opening. Lift going down.
Very strange. Yeah, I'm going to ground.
Yeah.
Second floor. To ground.
Doors closing. First floor.
Oh dear, somebody's getting in the lift.
Doors opening. Lift going
So
down.
this is a traction lift because it goes 1 meter a second. Like, there's no hydraulic that goes 1 meter a second. That's impossible. Listen, crap. E word UK.
Doors
Yeah, it's only one.
closing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it says out of order.
Oh.
Intervened by Connor.
Ground
There's a
floor.
weird colour thing again.
Doors opening. Lift going up.
The lifts in the car park appear to be older Schindlers, modernised by Schindlers in the 2000s. Here's a set of... Okay, yeah. Well, this is a pretty bad looking lift. Let's go to the 6th floor. So it was modernised in 2004. The Schindler came. Don't know what this is. It's a green lift for some strange reason. Sorry. I just feel like there's drug dealers here. So I want to go straight to the ground floor. Hopefully nobody called the lift. That's right. 2. It's a pretty fast lift. Floor 0. Door opening. And that's the end of the Whitgift Centre. Now we move on to Centrale. The next lift is in next. Do-do, do-do, we are Brooklyn, do-do. Today we are branding claims. Sorry? Oh, yeah, Horn and Dunwoody ERS. These lifts haven't changed that much. Of course they use hydraulics for 3 floors. What a great decision. Hydraulics aren't that great for 3 floors. I think recently I went into a lift with 5 floors, which was hydraulic.
Upper mile.
Upper mile. Ouch!
Lift going down. Mind
Doo-doo.
the doors, please.
We are the loudest doo-doo. Today we are making the loudest doo-doo. Doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. You mean light out of service? Baker. I love eating Ted Baker. I couldn't help that. I love my Ted Bakery. Sorry. Doo-doo!
Lower mile.
Now we move on to the main lifts, which are some Otis 2000s. One of the lifts has an Express Evans Gen 2 button. So here are the set of 3 lifts. Pretty iconic because they got these weird. Oh, it's gone. There was 2 ground floors here, but they changed it. I think the 2 ground floors are still inside, and obviously this lift does not have social distancing mode turned on. Go away. Close your doors, stupid lift. Bye bye lift. Now let's press the up button again.
So we'll go up to car park level 3, then to basement, because there's a really stupid announcements on these lifts. Tamworth Road entrance level. Okay. Car park levels 3 and 3A. Otis. 2 ground floors. Ground. You know what, let's just forget. Logic doesn't make sense. In 2002, so as you can see, there's a replacement button, which is weird. P2, P3. Levels 3 and 3A. Doors opening. It's pretty nice for a car park level. Let's go to the Tamworth Road, which is ground floor. And then afterwards we'll go to Mecca Bingo, which this lift calls it Mecca and Department Store. Why does it say Mecca but doesn't say House of Fraser? I don't know.
Tamworth Road entrance level.
Tamworth Road entrance level. It's the ground floor, but this is also the ground floor. Let's forget that logic exists. Let's go to -1.
Doors closing.
Ooh, it's the weird, they use the Express Heavens button. That's strange, they use the Express Heavens button. The iconic lifts in House of Fraser have some problems. NE, this is North End Mall and Department Store. Oh, they taped it over. Let's go to the Lower Mall. Lower Mall and Department. The key thing's been... Huh? Somebody's gonna go in the lift. Sorry?
Doors closing.
That was weird.
Doors opening. Going up.
Sorry, what's wrong? These lifts are broken.
Doors closing.
Okay, what the hell is going on? This is annoying. These lifts are slightly glitchy. This is actually annoying. And we have 2 lifts. There it goes back up to ground. Oh, thanks to this stupid glitch. These lifts are weird, they're cursed, they're absolutely cursed. Let's go to Tamworth Road entrance level.
Doors closing.
Doors open. Oh good, the door glitch is gone. Just 2000 to note for being very dead.
Tamworth Road entrance level.
Tamworth Road
Doors
entrance
opening.
level.
Going up.
Yep, Tamworth Road. Let's go to North End. Now let's go to Lower Mall. I mean North End Mall.
Doors closing.
The car park floors have tape
Doors
over.
opening.
Oh, not this glitch again. It's going to go into nudge mode.
Doors closing.
Oh, they got door glitch.
Doors opening.
Get ready for nudge mode. Just close the fucking doors.
Doors closing. Doors opening. Going up.
It's nudge mode time. RES lifts.
Doors closing.
Whee! Bloody fucking hell, what's wrong with these lifts? Man, these lifts really need fixing. Department store.
Doors opening.
Not a Connet chime. Oh, there's people in the lift. Yeah, this is where the shopping centre wasted its budget in 2017. But Keighley Road. Even then, it's already in bad condition. This looks nice, however. Oh no, but the resolution isn't as good as that Gen 2 knife I filmed a few weeks ago. Sorry, a month ago. Very slow doors. Keeley Road Shops. Wolf in real life. Okay, thanks for telling me. Let's go back to the ground floor. Oh no, that display doesn't look very good. This one also doesn't look very good, but it looks better. Two doors. Sadly, the Hammond Champness lift that used to serve Debenhams is now closed, as the new shop, which is another next, only has one floor. And at this point I realised I forgot to film the lift in H&M, which will be the final lift in this episode. It's a Gen 2. Very dim Gen 2, without a voice. Installed 2004, so if it did... Wait a minute, this does not look like a 2004 Gen 2. Maybe it was refurbished by Gen 2 some time ago? Because this does not look like a 2004 Gen 2. Ground floor. I'm going to go back to... No, sorry, the first one. What the hell is with those colours? And I've never seen these fixtures before. The display is so dim, the backlight doesn't work. You can see my camera instead of the display. 2004, speaker, that doesn't work. Yeah, it's an okay lift. Otis. It doesn't death wobble. Here is a tour of the lifts at the County Mall in Crawley. Here is my new map style. Blue boxes indicate lifts I didn't or couldn't film. The first lift is a generic with standard fixtures on the inside, but for some reason the call buttons on both floors are FIMXB fixtures, aka Schindler Eurolift buttons. So yes, this has got a Eurolift button, but it's a generic. How the hell did it get a Eurolift button? Also, there's an old indicator up there. This is so weird. So, a generic with the Eurolift button. Here's the lift.
Going up.
Going up, and it's unbranded. And half of the lights are working. Everything. Careful! Stairs on the right as you exit the lift. It's hydraulic. Okay, sorry. Bit shaky. Mirror. Camera. Lights. More lights. Is there the Schindler button here as well? Yes, it is. How the hell?
Please mind the door. Doors closing.
At least it's got the date correct.
Going down.
Death wobble.
Ground floor.
Ground floor.
Doors open.
Here's a dim techno lift.
Doors closing.
Doors closing. Good God, this lift is dark. Hydraulic. Ticky tape.
First floor.
First floor. Maintained
Doors
by...
opening.
Doors open. This is a mixed voice.
Doors closing.
So that's the vintage voice from the 80s, but they mix it with the techno voice, which is their own voice. So strange. Maintained by Corn and Dunwoody.
Ground floor.
This lift is strange.
Doors opening.
Doors opening.
The next lifts are some Conair lifts that were modernised by Schindler. These lifts have intelligent levelling. Sadly, as Schindler's provider of fixtures is DMG, these lifts have DMG fixtures.
So They are some... Let's go have up them.
Mind the doors. Doors closing.
These
Going
are some...
up. Please mind the doors. Doors closing.
These are some Connor
Going
lifts that were
up.
modernised by
Please
Schindler
mind the
in...
doors. Doors closing.
I have no idea.
Going up.
They've got intelligent levelling.
Car park. Level 2.
It's got a sort of over smoothness to it, but it's definitely intelligent levelling. This lift is going up.
Please mind the doors.
That's fine.
Doors closing. Doors open.
Are you looking now? Or are you
Going
saying
up.
I'm saying...
Please mind the doors. Doors closing. Going up. Car park, level 4. Doors open.
And now to the best lift in the entire centre. This is one of the last original Evans lifts in any WH Smith. Oddly enough, there's a sticker on the first floor saying about how I'm not allowed to film the lifts, but the staff members didn't care.
So here is the vintage Evans lift from the 1980s. In fact, it is the only Evans in WH Smith that's remaining, which is a bit sad. I think there's one other, but yep, it's a vintage Evans lift. Very dim light and...
No, I'll take the next one.
Evans Lift Limited. An indicator up there. This is such an old lift. I think these lanterns. I just noticed this funny sign. I'm 13 and nobody with me. Customer lift, one person plus a child under your care given at any time. This is a vintage lift. So old.
Have you pressed the button?
Yes, I have.
I didn't know whether you were just taking photos or...
No, I film lifts for my YouTube channel. Whew, that's good. Bunch of different DDs for some reason. Don't know why. Security guard sounds. They don't like cameras at all. Okay, now it's actually redder. Let's hope that it arrives. Good thing there's nobody next to me because... Oh great, it's myself. Looking good. No, no. Look at this vintage gem. The indicator. The indicator doesn't seem to work. This is a very old lift. Does it light up? Sadly no. These are some 2013 Conner monospace lifts with jumbo G-blast. Don't like that series of fixtures, but first floor. Hopefully nobody wants to get into it. Stop the jumbo G-blast. That's how Benno films lift. Trying to replicate that.
Now we exit the shopping centre and enter the nearby market. First to H&M. It has a lift with the 21st century depression voice.
A DMG button at an H&M. That sounds... Oh no. Don't even know if you can hear those noises. It's at Pickering's.
Doors closing.
Doors closing. It's got the 20...
First floor.
At least it will...
Going down.
Lift going down.
Doors
I
opening.
call it the 21st century depression voice.
Doors closing.
Jesus Christ. The door's closing. Oh god, this lift sounds so unhealthy.
Level 0.
Level 0.
Up. Doors opening.
Disgusting. This shop has a Stannery the Stanner. Not very good condition, Stannery the Stanner. Hey look, it's an overloaded button. It's not a button. Look, it's got the same sort of curved design. Does it have the same bell? Didn't hear a bell. Oh, sorry, I thought.
Are you going out? Are you going down at all?
I'm going down, yeah. No bells.
Now to Waterstones. The lift here looks almost identical to the lift in Waterstones' Midsummer Place. The only difference is that this lift is in much better condition.
This lift is very similar to another lift I filmed on the exact same store, but it was a different franchise. It was one in Midsummer Place. This was also made by Ace Elevators, but one difference is that one didn't have the handlebars. This one does, clearly indicating that this is a slightly lower traffic store. Hey look, another overloaded button. Oh, it's got the same sort of indicator glitch as the other one. Look, sorry. Oh no, this one doesn't. Yeah, it does. Let's do the angle film. Ticky tape.
Now to the worst lift I found. This lift is a climbing lift, but for some reason it's a permanent installation. At first I thought the lift wasn't moving, but it turns out the lift, probably the slowest lift I ever filmed. That isn't a platform lift. Even then, some platform lifts are faster than this one.
What the hell is this? Oh, there's not even enough power to light it up. It's flickering like crazy. Ouch. Oh, good God. Ugh. What even is this? Is this lift even moving? Oh, it's so slow. What a waste of time. Good God, this lift is cheap. Is this cheaper than a Soviet lift? Kind of reminds you of the direct drive. A little. But just this lift isn't just incredibly slow. It like takes 10 minutes to go between floors. And that too. It doesn't even have an indicator. That's where an indicator would be. But they didn't even install this. There's just holes for an indicator. That's how cheap this lift is. Oh my god. What a horrible lift. Look at this.
Doors closing.
Oh, it's got that voice at least. This is a very, it's one that's got, it's got the sort of grotty look to it. Hydraulic.
Third floor. Doors opening. Going down.
Staff only floor.
Doors closing. Ground floor. Doors opening.
Finally, we enter Wilko. The lift here is a heavily modernised old Otis lift. And I'm not talking about an old 60s Otis. I'm talking about a Waygood era Otis lift. While most of the lift is now modern, the motor is still original. Because of this, the lift is rather slow.
Wilko. I don't like Wilko that much. In terms of lifts and products. There we go. RGB indicator. Door opening. Oh, I'm bringing the lift.
So you respond, babe.
Door opening. Ceiling looks nice.
Going up. Please mind the doors. Doors closing.
Lift level indicator.
Going up.
Going up. I don't know if it's a hydraulic or an MRL.
Floor 1.
Looks pretty nice though.
Doors opening.
Oh, now I know why it's nice.
Going down.
It's a modernisation.
Please mind the doors. Doors closing.
So I'm essentially in a lift from the
Going
1930s.
down.
No wonder it's so slow.
Ground floor.
Why is it partly green? Camera.
Doors opening.
Right, fella. Right, first floor, please, Governor. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, son.
going up. Level 1. Doors opening. Doors closing. Lift going down. Level 0. Doors opening.
Oh. What is social distancing again? Oh, this is... Somebody called it and never came in the lift. Actually, I prefer first floor.
Where's what? At work. Oh. Isn't he? He's at work.
The hell? You okay? This lift is confusing.
Mind the doors, please. Lift going down. First floor. Mind the doors, please. Lift going up. Ground floor.
in the lift, it had the actual Arona voice.
First floor. Doors closing. Lift going down. Main floor.
Ah, it's here. This is an RP5 too. Sorry.
Ground floor. Lower ground floor.
Lift going up. Doors closing. Level 1. Doors opening.
Oh no, I filmed
Lift
that.
going down.
So this is Topshop, and unfortunately we all know what happened to Topshop. But interestingly, it looks like they got their lift replaced with a Eurolift. I swear before it was two standards as a set. It's a shame I wasn't able to film this Schindler. But I'll play a clip of the original lift.
Can you imagine a scanner that is actually a set? This one. Doors closing. Lift going up.
Lift going up.
Of course, it's the questions voice.
Level 1.
Level 1? Yes, I would like level 1. Doors opening.
Westfield Stratford City welcome to use of face coverings.
What the hell? It's not lighting up. There's something wrong with the speakers. We've been making this sound for a very long time. Don't know what's up with that.
Thank you.
Ground floor. Doors open. Going down. Doors closing. Doors open.
This is one of the busiest lift tours I've ever made. Wait, what the hell? Where's it? Oh yeah. Wait, what the hell? Which floor are you getting off at?
Lower ground.
Okay, lower ground. That's good. Okay.
Doors open.
Oh, both of the doors open on the same floor. Interesting. That lift is going down and there's nobody inside it. I don't trust this lift.
Floor 0.
And that is somebody being strange. Sorry about that. I just found somebody being strange. No. Somebody littered at McDonald's thing. Copyright 2021 NCHLT.
Car parking level 8.
This lift is going up.
Going up. Doors closing.
Sorry, could you just keep moving? Yes, thank you. Gotta get in now, otherwise I might not get lucky.
Car parking level 9. Doors opening.
I don't even know why, I just won't make this lift. It's on lift flash mode. I don't think 2019 visit was lift flash mode. Only the first and ground floor are open to the public. Yum. I'm really hungry. I love that chime. Where's the lift closing its doors? Security camera. It's two Schindler logos. It's a green line. R. What's floor R? at Lakeside. The tour starts at Chafford 100 station. The lift at the station was broken. The lift took you to an underground passageway. At the end of this passage was another lift. This lift used to be a glass Schindler Eurolift, however it was replaced. And it's no longer glass! Jesus Christ. This lift stinks. Floor 1. So now we go along to the shopping centre. I decided against the lifts at the car parks as they smelt of cannabis. However, most other lifts were filmed. The next lift is a small tucked away lift next to the toilets. This lift used to be a Schindler, however it was modernised by Connor not too long ago. Resolution is much better than in Central Centre. Now to H&M, which has a Otis Gen 2. This lift is interesting because it has a colour display with Otis 2000 ELD formatting. This lift also has a glitched up voice. This is my absolute favourite Gen 2 because of its colour display. Looks like a nice high quality LCD. Hand sanitizer. Okay, that was weird. It didn't have a voice back in my 2019 visit. But one thing I like about this Gen 2 is that it has full intelligent levelling. See? It's pretty nice. I'm going to do one more roundup. I like the colour display. Second floor. Sure. I'm back to ground.
Going down. Doors closing. First floor. Doors opening.
Here is one of the strangest generic lifts I've ever filmed. So, I'm going to go up to 1. It used to have a voice. It doesn't have a voice anymore. What an overpriced screen for such a cheap lift. Jesus Christ, what kind of chassis does this lift even have? Now to the main lift, which are some Fujitechs modernised with intelligent levelling. These lifts are incredibly busy for reasons, I think. Why the hell are they putting Christmas stuff up? It's literally October. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, go. These lifts are modernised, but they still seem to be very nice.
Going up.
I've never heard that chime before.
Doors open.
Oh, good. People are now getting out. That's good. Oh, no, no, don't tell me more people are getting in. Yep, people are getting in. This is not one of my best lift tours.
Going down. Floor 1. Doors.
What the hell was that sound? Good, 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 good. Good, good, good. Okay, go, go, go. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Well, that's cool. Thank fuck. Let's see how efficient it is. That's very nice.
Floor 2.
Full intelligent levelling. Even though this is a Leicester lift now, it's still very nice. I think it was probably just a slap-on mod. This is interesting. COVID has been around since 1996. I didn't know that whatsoever. Now to Primark. This clip is so horrendously filmed, you'll only get a small portion of this clip. Fucking hell. Okay, no, there's only one person leaving, and for some reason the kid is even though the kid's only 2 years old, it already has a phone. How, I only got my first phone when I was 11, so how the fuck can a kid get, a phone, an iPhone 11 Pro? And it's going down. Jesus fucking Christ. I hate this video so much. Jesus Christ. I just wanted to film lifts. And I can't. Because people are going to enter the lift and no they're not. Please, I beg you, just don't enter the lift. Jesus Christ. This button's broken. Jesus fucking Christ. Now to the famous glass lifts in Marks and Spencer's. These lifts are known for having no roof. A few years ago, these lifts were modernised with intelligent levelling. These are the absolutely famous glass generic lifts, target lifts, in Marks and Spencer's. This is why they're famous. They do not have a window at the top. And they're famous for that.
Lift going up.
Lift going up. Carpet floor. And it has 2-speed.
First floor.
No, it has hydro air.
Doors closing.
That's nice, it's got hydro air.
Lift going down.
I like these lifts. They do have full intelligent levelling.
Ground floor.
Hydro air is good. Here we go. That's 2nd floor. What is it with lifts in this shopping centre and... fuck kind of leveling is that? Please don't enter the lift on. Please don't enter this lift on. A minute. Right now I entered the wrong level because I was so stressed. Okay, so let's do the bendo angle film me thing. And I'll focus directly on the indicator. There we go. Going down.
Yes, okay.
That's cool.
There you go, my love.
Start button, that's actually a button. Another start button. But you need this for staff entrance. These two aren't buttons, but I think this is a button. Yes, it's a useless button. Now for what's likely the final lift. Unfortunately, I really do apologise about this lift tour, but unfortunately, this is a bit of a train wreck of a lift tour. Sorry about that. I promise you, next episode will be amazing. I have plans on filming the lifts in a city that begins with M. Here's a 2020. These used to be Schindlers with like colour displays. Now there's a colour display here. So no. I could have done that. Welcome to the first ever NCHLT Christmas special. In this episode, I'll be giving you a tour of the lifts at Manchester Arndale, as well as a few clips from Trafford Centre. I couldn't do a lift tour there because the lifts were busy as fuck and some dumb fucks switched off the lift in the name of coronavirus. IDK, how the fuck switching off lifts is going to help with the pandemic, but that's off topic. The first lift is a little thyssenkrupp. So this is the lift in Exchange Court in Manchester Arndale.
Doors closing.
It's a thyssenkrupp with the Microsoft logo.
Level 1, upper hall.
Upper
Doors
social
opening.
distancing.
Lift going down. Doors closing.
There's more stuff on this side than there is on that side. That side looks very bare. It's an okay lift.
Level 0. Lower arm.
Better than the Thyssenkrupp at the Microsoft
Doors
store.
opening.
Now to next. These used to be some Oaklands, however, something strange happened. One of the lifts was given the worst modernisation I've ever seen, and the other one was straight up replaced.
What on earth happened here? Okay, let's do this lift first. Oh, that doesn't sound healthy. Yeah, okay, that doesn't sound healthy. Oh, it's a weird segment this way. The other one uses dot matrix. Oh wait, it's not. It's actually blue. Let's do this lift first. Oh god, no, don't tell me it's the 21st century depression voice. Wait, what the? What the fuck? No, it's the Piccadilly line voice. Oh my, this is a fucking lazy mod. You can still see the Oakland panel. Holy crap, this is a bad mod. The other one lift was straight up replaced.
3rd floor, lift going down.
It's the Piccadilly line voice. Techno elevation technology. Yeah, more like crappy mods. Yes. What a crappy mod. Really, this is one of the worst mods I've came across. Oh, literally. There's an LCD there, there's a speaker there, but it's like a slap-on mod, but it's not. It's awful. It's awful. I don't even know if the controller's been replaced.
Ground floor, lift going up.
Yeah, it's definitely been replaced. It feels like something from the relay days. Now to the lift that was straight up replaced. Those black cables, those are for the electricity. In case you're new to the lift community. Lift is not going up. Jump cuts time. Yeah, this is very similar to the other technos I built. 2 buttons for some strange reason. Yeah, very similar to the other Oaklands. I meant technos, sorry, my bad. Yeah, it's very rattly lift. Installed 2017. It's an MRL, so it's automatically better than the Oakland. Go. Now back to the ground floor. Corporation Street exit. What the? Sure.
Now to the main lifts. These go a very high distance. This is when it becomes obvious that people are wasting my time. People went in the lift going up when they wanted to go down. Almost like they were intentionally trying to waste my fucking time.
Okay, so this is the... Okay, there's a lift here. Holy crap, if I get this to myself... Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap, I got this to myself. Oh, there's the Microsoft Store logo again. Incorrect colour.
Level 1, upper mark.
Should be red. Hey, that's like the kind mod. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. Holy crap, that was an echo.
Oh,
Oh, so you
I'm
coming
going
out?
now. No, I'm going to 11, so
Oh.
just the next one.
Thank you.
Level 11, parking.
The lift literally makes an echo sound, I don't know why.
Not you. Not you. Thank you.
Wait, what floor are you going to?
We're going. I'm not too sure what floor is that one at the bottom.
That's...
Is it the 0?
Of course it is.
Oh, thank you.
I...
Level 13, parking.
Oh my god. This is absolutely... Now to the Techno in Wilko. This lift has the typical Wilko interior, however, the lift is also a goods lift and a passenger lift at the same time. Also, this lift makes horrific noises. So this is the Techno in, these are the Techno in, Wilko. Got the Techno floor. I meant Wilko floor.
Are you coming out?
Wow, what a... The next lift has an interesting history. It was an Otis 2000 modernised by Conair multiple times, then replaced. This lift actually has it's had an interesting history, but it's a monospace and it was installed in 2020. So basically, this lift used to be an Otis, and it was modernised by Conair, and then it was replaced, and then replaced again. What a strange story. Now to Boots, which has a monospace with a rear indicator. This is probably the strangest indicator I've ever seen on a Conair lift. It's like a diamond in the shape of the modern Conair buttons. Sure, why not? We have customer, which look at how many staff floors there are, and look at how many customer floors there are. Staff floors. Oh, right, I am on the first floor. That means the ground floor is the basement. When you make a lift, can you not, confusing floor number? The floor numbering here is a mess. It's like an absolute circus. Gonna go back up to 1. There's not much in this interior. There's a mirror. There's a couple lights. There's a... Store 2018. I think the indicator is probably the best thing about this lift. These lifts are famous. Sadly, they've been modernised. Hey, there's this plane on ground. This concerns me. This concerns me. Going up. Stone to clear up the door. Wow, these lifts are very big. We're going to go back to 1. 2014. I think the originals were installed in the 90s. There's a speaker up there. Let's look outside. That's not full intelligent leveling. What the? What floor are you going to?
I'm going to ground.
Why did you take the lift that was going up?
Sorry?
Centrale's on the lower ground, so I'm going to the ground.
Okay. These lifts don't have voice. From up to 3. Okay, this is unexpected. Okay. Yeah, these lifts are. Oh, they were installed in 1999. This button panel is very similar to the one in the other lifts, but this one doesn't have voice. Speaker was replaced with the lights. Nothing there. These lifts used to be like classic TMS lifts. These lifts actually go a lot higher than the much expensive ones. We go back to 1. Intelligent? Much more intelligent than the Marks and Spencer's one. Now for the final lifts of this video. I will pick 3 lifts from the Trafford Centre to film. Okay, this is strange. 3 call buttons for 2 lifts. But why? Why? Another Otis 2000 hydraulic. Very similar to the ones featured at the start of the video. (1997) as well. Much more clearer voice unit. Oh, people getting into lift. These are the Mitsubishis at John Lewis in the Trafford Centre. Wow. This is interesting.
First floor.
These lifts are overstacked. Wow. Wow. Holy crap, these lifts are amazing. Now that John Lewis looked at them, but then they have like this Japanese quality to them. You know what? These lifts deserve a second ride up. They go bang when the doors close. This is a really nice lift.
First floor. Going down.
Going down indeed. These lifts are amazing. They're just amazing.
Level 0.
Wow.
Going.
And with the last lift clip finished, that concludes Season 2 of NCHLT's lift tours. Hope you have a great Christmas and be prepared for my next video. Top 15 lifts of 2021. Thanks a lot for watching and getting me up to 100 subscribers. And just so that you know, lift tours will return in 2022.